Now we're gonna discuss together the priority scheduling. In priority scheduling, each process has a priority which is an integer value assigned to it, considered as the highest priority, and the largest integer is considered as the lowest priority. So here the process with the highest priority gets the CPU first. In priority scheduling there is three important kinds, which is: 1 is non-preemptive priority scheduling, 2 is preemptive priority scheduling, 3 is preemptive priority scheduling with round robin. So we're gonna discuss this three different kinds of priority in three kind of banks.
Hi, I'm Ali and I'm gonna talk about you priority scheduling. And we're gonna consider each people as each process. Let's go. So here the ATM like the CPU. Sometimes it is important to execute higher priority tasks immediately, even when a task is currently being executed if a task with higher priority than the current task being executed arrives. Then the control of the CPU is taken from the current task and given to the higher priority task. Like we see, considering that the higher priority is the old man. So once he is entering to his place in the queue, the bank taken place in the queue from the current man, and given to the old man. Round-robin scheduling is a special kind of preemptive priority scheduling. In it, when a process is already in the CPU being executed, it has a limited time quantum which it gets to execute within. But if it cannot complete itself, then it gets preempted. So as the time quantum progresses, the chances of the process being preempted increases. Its priority decreases, whereas the process which is waiting in the ready queue is getting its chances increased. So like we said before, the ATM like the CPU, and the quantum here is $10 for once. So everyone who just won a 10, he will take it and go with no problem. But here now the next man wanted 25, so he gonna take just $10. Then he gonna wait to the queue again, to take the rest of his money, and so on. Now the next man will do the same thing, and anyone will want to take less than 10. He can just take the number which he need, no less no more. Then what happened in CPU also will be the same thing. That the CPU has the quantum time that any processes must adhere to it. Distribute the limited resources of CPU to the different processes fairly and in a way that optimizes some performance criteria. Now in case of non-preemptive scheduling, it does not interrupt a process running CPU in middle of the execution. Instead, it waits till the process complete its CPU burst time and then it can allocate the CPU to another process. And like we see here, the old man has to wait all the queue to can get his money, not like the previous banks. So as we understand, it's based on the arrival time. No process can allocate place of another process even it has a higher priority. So it have to wait the current process to be executing.
Summarizing all that has been said, the executing process in preemptive scheduling is interrupted in the middle of execution when higher priority one comes, whereas the executing process in non-preemptive scheduling is not interrupted in the middle of execution and wait till its execution. In preemptive scheduling, if a high priority process frequently arrives in the ready queue, then the process with low priority has to wait for a long, and it may have to starve. On the other hand, in the non-preemptive scheduling, if CPU is allocated to the process having larger burst time, then the processes with small burst time may have to starve. Preemptive scheduling attain flexible by allowing the critical processes to access CPU as they arrive into the ready queue, no matter what process is executing currently. But non-preemptive scheduling is called rigid, as even if a critical process enters the ready queue, the process running CPU is not disturbed. In the traditional round-robin scheduling, all processes were treated equally for processing. The objective of the round robin is to give better service to processes that have been executing for a while than to newcomers. It's a more logical and superior implementation compared to the normal round robin. Processes in the ready list are partitioned into two lists, new and accepted. The new processes wait while accepted processes are serviced by the round robin. Priority of a new process increases at rate A while the priority of an accepted process increases at rate B. When the priority of a new process reaches the priority of an accepted process, that new process becomes accepted. If all accepted processes finish, the highest priority new process is accepted. Now, we reached the end of our video. Hope you understand it very well. Thanks for watching.